I won't say that damn word then. Can you hear my fan in the background?
Yes. It's not horrible, but yes.
Right. Ow. I turned it down. Wouldn't be a commentary without me sweating my ass off. Just trying to have no background noise.
Actually, the stream looks pretty good right now, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Just wait until there starts being movement on the screen.
Yeah, okay, so, he just went to ready. Titans just went to ready. Just went to edit uniforms.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we should be fine.
I think I might be like a second ahead, but...
Well, since I'm doing play-by-play, just like hold your reaction for a second. We should be okay.
I'm gonna check my other TV, see if I have the Twitch app. I'll see if that's more synced up with you. I have like 4 devices I can use Twitch on, and they're all different time synced.
Right. I want to make sure my thing actually posted here. Alright. So I'm getting in the loading screen right now.
Yep. I see Michael Collins.
I also see Michael Collins. Yeah, we're pretty much synced.
No, I see Kamara and Chubb.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like a 1.5 second delay, I'd say.
Alright.
So just,
Not big. I'll just wait.
again, just like hold your reactions until I like announce it, and then you can go from there, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AFC Divisional round. This is a great one between Jesse's Tennessee Titans and Dan's Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, on paper, this is one of the biggest playoff mismatches we've had all season 1, but the great thing about the Better League is any given Sunday, anything can happen. I am joined by a man who's also made the divisional round himself, deservedly so. Justin, how's it going?
It is going absolutely great. I'm excited to take this forward. Play Ben/Steele.
Good stuff.
Maybe eventually meet one of these winners in the Super Bowl.
Now is the kick return breaks big there for a nice gain up to the 31. So we don't have to pretend this is anything other than, a pretty big mismatch. If you're Jesse, having played only your second game with the Tennessee Titans and coming in as the decisive underdog, what do you do strategically to try to take down what has become a dynasty in the Jacksonville Jaguars?
First off, the thing I would do that he did is look real sexy for this game. That uniform combination's really nice. But I think you gotta play possession. Don't let Dan get the ball, and he won't score.
That's very true. If you don't get the ball, you can't score. That is expert analysis from Justin Thiele once again, as we have 2nd and 4 at 37 after that stretch point for a gain of 6. And Rosen drops back and immediately throws an interception. And this is the concern here. If you're Jesse, you cannot give Dan any free possessions, and he gives him one on his first throw of the game. Yep. 1st and 10 at 28. So obviously not the best read from Jesse. We'll see if that's nerves or if that is a fluke moving forward. But Derek Carr takes the field for the first time. 1st and 10 at 28. Obviously has really good field positioning here, as this is Nick Chubb for the first time as he bounces to the outside. Gets a gain of 3. Now, Justin, you play one of Steele or Ben. I think they're playing their game tomorrow. Who do you want to win that game? Who would you rather play?
It's a toss-up because I feel like I have more confidence against Steele regularly, but he would be getting a team upgrade if he gets the Buccaneers, because I'm pretty sure they're better than the Rams, right? Then
yes. Oh,
but then for Ben, he'd get a bit of a downgrade from that whole superstar defense to a Bucs team who doesn't have the amount of superstars and X factors that Falcons team does. So
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna not worry about who wins and just play whoever wins.
My stream froze there for a little bit. This is okay, and it's freezing again. This is the concern when Dan streams. There's absolutely nothing I can do about this. It's just, it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep refreshing, and hopefully at some point we're able to get some semblance of continuity here. But we do have 3rd and 7. Man, did his stream just go down entirely? Because it keeps...
I'm not sure. It keeps doing it for me, too. It says he's offline.
His stream went down. Okay, okay, I will at...
So why couldn't Jesse stream?
I don't know, man. At... Jaguars. Stream... down. I'll try refreshing one more time, see if that does anything. While we're waiting, Chase, I saw you ask in the Twitch chat if I'm trying to build this Twitch up. I mean, not to the Seamaster Cody level. Definitely, they're definitely the 2 premier users in this league in terms of streaming. But if you want to throw me a subscribe, I will not complain. As Jack says, I can't do anything about it. Can we just get Jesse to stream then?
I think maybe because he's on a backup account.
Oh. That actually makes sense, yeah. Well, dang, man. Hey, good first 3 plays of the game to announce. Oh, shit, here we go. Okay, I think the stream just went back live. For me, it did, at least. I mean, if someone could tell me how to add a subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. I would like to see.
You have to get sponsored, or not sponsored, but you have to have like a certain amount of views over a certain amount of time.
Well, I'm a long way away from that. I think the stream's back on.
Yeah, 50 followers and averages at least 3 views. No, it's slightly running for me. Nope, my hand's lagging.
Oh boy. You'd think that Dan would have... Okay, it just went down again. Great. Well, he's been able to at least, I mean, it's been laggy before, but he's been able to at least stream a game before, so I don't know what the deal is here. So yeah, no, if you liked what you heard from those first 3 plays, make sure to hit the follow button. I do this every day.
Seems like just no matter what, any technology I touch just screws up.
Yeah, we'll blame this on you. It's
my computer.
Wouldn't be the first time we've blamed you for things you can't control. Really, in the last 24 hours. Okay, stream back up. Okay, let me put the quality on the low, auto.
You said, does it work now?
I mean, it's on right now for me.
Oh, yep, it's on for me.
No, periscopes are toxic. We're not doing that. It's unplayable. As it looks like, I think Jacksonville turned the ball over because Tennessee got the ball back here in their 2nd and 2 on 38. So that's a nice break there for Jesse.
All right, back to the game. Did you see that picture Ben put in general?
Wait, why didn't it? Yeah, hold on. There we go. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, this is just something we will have to deal with. Of course, the winner of this game is going to end up playing Chase, who finally got the monkey off his back and got past the divisional round for the first time in a while. Beat Fern in pretty decisive fashion, 41-24. Justin, you and I are both very familiar with Chase as a user and as a man. How do you, like, if this ends up becoming a Chase-Dan matchup, how do you feel that Chase's chances are in that game? Remembering that we've, of course, already seen Chase beat him once in the regular season, just this season.
And I'd say it's unknown territory. We don't know how Chase plays in conference championship games this cycle.
Facts.
So, he looked really good against Fern. I'll say that.
He very much did as Josh Rosen drops back, has those double slants, and ends up going to it, and that is a gain of 18 and a first down. A very nice read there by Tennessee. Again, 19, I guess. Waited for the linebacker to sort of go back to the middle of the field and put it on a dime there, and Josh Rosen once again takes field in empty formation here, 5 wide. One of the most efficient passers in the history of the league, although, of course, that was with a toxic burner account manning the controls as Rosen goes to the drag route, and that is Alvin Kamara for a gain of 4.
Yeah, as I was saying before, Dan's just a different level than Fern.
Yes.
So if you're Chaser, don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't think you're already making it to the Super Bowl. You still got to win that game against Dan.
For sure, and I don't think Chase will get too far ahead of himself. I think he knows at this point to take it one game at a time, especially assuming that he does play, the 4 straight time Super Bowl pure in Jan's Jacksonville Jaguars. But for now, Dan has a game to worry about. 3rd and 5 here at 38 as Rosen once again drops back. 3-man rush goes up the seams, and Savage may take this to the house, ends up going all the way to the 10-yard line. And after an initial interception by Josh Rosen, Jesse looking locked in all drive long. 1st and 10.
Yeah, we'll never know what happened on that Jags possession.
We sure won't, but I'm assuming it was just a god-awful turnover. We have Alex watching, CMAS, Chase, Taint. I'm sure we'll get more as the game goes on. Big shout-out to y'all. If you have any questions or statements, make sure to put them in the Twitch chat. I will be reading that throughout the game. Again, it's not quite a Cody setup, not quite a CMAS setup, but we make do here. 1st and 10 at the 10. What do you run here as the Titans to punch this ball into the end zone?
Whoa. Okay, my chair almost broke. If I'm the
too many cheese curds?
Yeah, too many cheese curds. I guess you just try to...
I'll just cut you off there. 1st and 10, and Kamara tries to bounce outside, ends up taking it for a gain of 3. That is interesting. It looked like that almost looked like a fullback dive animation, but that does go for a gain of 3. It's good stuff there by Jesse once again.
Sorry, I almost died. I got my composure back.
Of course.
I think Dan runs a lot of man in the red zone, it's been looking like, so if you have any quick drags to pass receiver maybe.
Is that halfback zone concept there goes for a loss of 2, and this will be 3rd and 9. If you're Jesse, putting points on the board first, that's exactly what you want. Do not do anything too risky, as that stretch just gets absolutely locked up. That is a loss of 4, and Jesse will be forced to kick a field goal here, potentially getting the first points of the game. 4th and 13.
I think he'll take a field goal.
Okay, I thought I shanked that for a second, but that does go through the uprights. And I wonder, 3 straight runs there in the red zone. Three straight runs to Alvin Kamara. I wonder if that's Jesse just remembering his first interception, of course, on the first drive of the game, and just making sure to prioritize not turning the ball over. And maybe he'll live with his 3.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's what I think is happening. Once you get into the red zone against a really good user, there's a lot more risk-reward there if you just throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. One thing Morty likes doing in the red zone is bubble screens, and that's something that seems to be generally effective. Is Chubb sheds a man off of him, but ends up getting tackled at the 2nd level. That is a gain of 3, and of course, we don't know exactly what happened in Jacksonville's last possession, but it was either a turnover or a missed field goal. So Dan already off to a somewhat tragic start. Yeah, Chase, we don't know what happened to Dan in the red zone. That was something that happened when the stream went down, as Derek Carr drops back, and he will go to the corner round. That was wide open, and DJ Chark unable to keep in bounds, but that is a gain of 25 and a first down for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The human Omaha's first big strike so far.
Yeah, and this
Jesse on defense, you gotta disguise your coverages better.
Exactly, yeah, and especially now that he's, well, I guess he doesn't have Omaha anymore, but whenever he has that X factor lit up, you got to be making audibles, changing individual matchups up, because if not, Dan will eat you alive. As this is 1st and 10, the edge blitz almost gets us through, but this is Boehringer in the flats, gain of 6.
Didn't realize he was still in the league right now.
As we have a 2nd and 5 here at the 42. Once again, this Tennessee Titans defense, a pretty dominant one in the regular season, but of course, remember that was with a different user, a toxic user whose name we will not mention in polite company. 2nd and 5 here at the 42 as Derek Carr makes a litany of adjustments, and this is a handoff, and Nick Chubb gets locked up for a loss of 1, and all of a sudden we have a 3rd and 6. Can Tennessee get their 2nd straight stop?
This is a big stop right here. Get the ball back and maybe go up by 2 scores.
Potentially, yeah, and then this is what you want here for Jesse. Of course, limit Dan's time of possession. It's exactly what you were mentioning earlier. But of course, you need to get the stop here first. 3rd and 6 of the 43 as Derek Carr shuts his own crowd up. That's something that a lot of these elite users like to do. Shout out to Chase. 3rd and 6 of the 43. Derek Carr once again makes a series of adjustments as he will drop back, and he goes nearly intercepted. But that is a beautiful. That is beautiful secondary work there by Tennessee, and for the 2nd time today, Dan unable to put points on the board here.
That was nice. I think he was expecting Dan to audible Chark into the post route, so he set his linebacker to a deep zone over there, like over the middle. So then that route got taken out, and he had to just kind of throw it up to something.
Yeah, I mean, he essentially had outs to the outside and then 10-yard hitch routes, essentially, and those were very nicely locked up by this Tennessee linebackers core. And all of a sudden, Jesse, as we approach the end of the first quarter, up 3-0 with ball. Very weird animation, but Kamara able to bounce outside, spins away from the tackle, and that is a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Do you like this offensive approach from Jesse so far? Do you like what you're seeing?
I'm loving it. Just keep it on the ground. Don't throw any risky plays. And
yeah. I mean, the problem is that corner route is wide open. Very nice touch there by Josh Rosen to loft it over the linebacker, and that is a gain of 18. And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, apart from that, first pass of the game, which we won't talk about, I like what I'm seeing from Jesse. Not afraid to stretch this defense out. He's gone deep a couple times, which I think he needed to do against this Jacksonville secondary. But I like what I'm seeing here from Jesse. This is, so far, it's still early, but this is the type of game you want here if you're Jesse's Tennessee Titans. 1st and 10 as Rosen drops back. 4-man rush gets picked up very nicely, and he will take a deep shot into single coverage, and that looked like it was almost caught and then almost intercepted, but it does fall incomplete, and we have 2nd and 10.
Dan's very good at positioning his safety in situations like that.
Yes. He's one of the best, both on offense and defense, he's one of the best, jump ball users in the league, as we have a 2nd and 10 here. The 45 is Dan showing blitz as he will go to the blitz, and very nice quick read there by Jesse that will go for gain of 6 on the quick out route. 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I'd almost say run it here and just play field position.
This would be a nice draw opportunity, but Rosen does drop back, and as the left end gets through immediately, that is Maurice Little, one of the most, if not the most lethal pass rushing ends in this league. That is 4th and 13, and looks like Michael Dixon and company will be forced to punt this ball away.
Maurice Little had that sack for God.
Yeah, not a great punt there. That does go out of bounds at the 17, and now Jacksonville takes the ball back over. 2 drives so far for this Jacksonville Jaguars offense, unable to come away with any points. Do you see anything that Dan's doing wrong, speaking as a far better user than Dan, or has he just been unlucky so far?
I think he's been getting a little too aggressive, just trying to beat him over the air so far, instead of, starting with some runs, trying to slowly gain yardage. He's been going for big chunk plays the whole time.
As once again, very nice coverage there. It looked like the drag may have been initially somewhat open, but Dan, unable to go to it, and that is 2nd and 10 here to 17. Jesse, despite the fact that he's not really showing a ton here defensively, not making a ton of adjustments necessarily, but so far this Titans defense doing a very good job of locking this Jacksonville offense down. I don't want to speak too soon. That's 2nd and 10 as Carr drops back. Once again, no one open. He does go to the in route. That is a patented Dan low pass. Gain of 13 and a 1st down.
Yep, him and maybe Morty are easily the best at just like deciding when to low pass or when to high point it.
100%, yeah. Dan
Things
does a
I
very good job of that.
usually forget about every time I play.
As once again, play action here, and once again, no one really open, as Derek Carr first will way out, and he will once again throw the ball away. Interesting, we haven't seen Nick Chubb touch the ball here in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 plays. Dan going very pass-heavy early, 2nd and 10 here at the 29.
This cover 2 of Jesse's really been slowing him down, surprisingly.
Right on cue, we do see Nick Chubb there for a gain of 5, making it once again 3rd and 5. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're a Jesse supporter at this point, I mean, you have some umbrage with the fact that Jesse's only up by 3 at this point, but regardless, I think you like, again, the general approach from Jesse on both sides of the ball here. 3rd and 5 at the 34, as Derek Carr once again making a litany of adjustments. We will see plenty of hot routes from Dan throughout the game here, as of course, that hot route master playing into full effect as Derek Carr drops back. Only a 3-man rush as he will go to the corner route, and that is DJ Chark. Don't expect that to be the last time we hear that name. Gain 16 and a 1st down.
Yeah, he's good. Chark's going to find the end zone one way or another every game. I'm not sure how many games he's been held touchdownless, but he's obviously Dan's favorite target, so gotta watch where he is every play.
And once again, this Tennessee defensive line doing a very solid job of getting block sheds before letting Nick Chubb get into open field here. That is a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 at the 47. And Dan, of course, trying to take control of this game here. So far, Jesse, I won't say the better of the 2 users, but he is up, and that is something we'll have to see here as Boehringer gets a drag route that is a gain of 8 and a 1st down. Interesting, we're seeing, I mean, as you said, a lot of cover 2 concepts here from Jesse. I wonder if that's strategic or if that's just like what he prefers to run anyway. 1st down.
Yeah, it looks like he's been, I think it might be strategic to mess with those post routes because he's been sending the linebacker into a deep coverage. As
that is an absolutely beautiful throw and catch there, DJ Chark, as the safety just played too far off there at the end of the play, and that is a gain of 26 and a 1st down. Kind of unlucky there from Jesse because he did a really good job with his user, but his safety just unable to get there in time, and all of a sudden, Dan is back in the red zone as Derek Carr once again shuts his own crowd up. 1st and 10 at 13. This is once again a passing play here by Derek Carr. Once again, no one really open, and Derek Carr once again forced to throw it away. Are we seeing a little hike and haul here from Dan? We've seen that a few times already.
It's the hike and haul is in the words. Words are very hard to do. People interpret hike and haul differently. Some people think it's only if you're actually running, then it's hike and haul. Some people think, if I'm not going to pass in the first place, it's not hike and haul. We don't know.
Not to interrupt you here, but we do have 3rd and 6 at the 10. This would be a colossal stop here for the Tennessee Titans if they are able to get it and potentially hold this Jacksonville team to 3 as Davison cuts up, unable to... Oh, that is a very unlucky face mask by Foster, and of course Dan is going to take that. Tough, because if you just wrap him up, that's 4th down, and we probably see Dan take the field goal at that point. But
when you have Reuben Foster on your team, what are you going to expect?
Exactly, yeah, you're just going to see all that as Nick Chubb is locked up there at the line of gain, and that is... Well, that gets stuck to the line there. Is Nick Chubb here with less than 2.5 yards per carry. Once again, if you're Jesse, you have to like what you're seeing from the run D, but right now, of course, you're focusing on stopping this Jacksonville Jaguars red zone offense, as this is a stretch, and that is once again locked up by the right end this time. 3rd and goal at the 7 as that goes for a loss of 4.
He's doing a very good job at making Dan one-dimensional now.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Chubb has not had the best game in the world, and we haven't even seen Chubb have a patented fumble yet. His Carr rolls out. Once again, very nice coverage by this team, and as Derek Carr will roll out, will he get to the end zone? That is a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. As, Jesse probably should have just gone for the wrap-up there, tried to go for the hit stick, unable to land it, and Derek Carr straddles the sideline, and that is a touchdown for Jacksonville.
Straddled it hard. Fun fact, Derek Carr takes ballerina classes in the off-season. He takes ballet classes.
Yes, sir, you got to have that.
Tiptoe on the sideline.
Got to have that, got to have that elite level footwork if you are really a
kind of sound like a man there.
NFL player. Yeah, for the first time in my life, right, as we have 7-3 here as Highsmith will take this out of the end zone as he tries to juke outside. That is stopped at the 18. And I want to see in the chat, if you're Jesse, moving forward, how do you approach this game? Just from an offensive standpoint. I think he's doing, despite giving up a touchdown there, he's doing a pretty good job defensively, but you got to put points up on the board. What do you do here if you're Jesse? As once again, this is play action as Rosen drops back, goes to the drag route as Smith is able to fall forward for a gain of 7.
I'll turn the table on you. What do you think Jesse has to do?
Despite the fact that it only has 3 points, I like the general approach here from Jesse. I don't see Dan setting a lot of QB spies. I know that Rosen isn't the most fleet of foot in the world, but if you just take off on one of these plays, it makes Dan think about it for the rest of the game. So that's something I would encourage as Morrison almost gets the user there, but unable to react to it, and that is a gain of 6. And if you're Jesse, less of those, because that, in all honesty, probably should have been a pick.
Yeah. He's lucky that was a D lineman, or else he might have been screwed there.
100%, yeah. As it looks like Tennessee, as this game's gone on, going more and more to West Coast, as that should be a neutral zone infraction there, as it is. Leon Jacobs jumps a bit too early, and this is first and 5.
I thought he just baited the O-line, but I was about to say, is that even possible?
I mean, if you disguise your blitzes, yeah, you could do that, but regardless, Rosen drops back once again. Only a 3-man rush, and this is a sack and a fumble! And Sweeney able to pick it up, and an unlucky break there is really the left tackle probably should have picked that up, but that is.
Left tackle, I think, kicked it while trying to pick it up.
Jesse's second turnover of the game, and all of a sudden, Jacksonville has the ball at the opposing 35.
That was just a bad play by the O-line. You're supposed to jump on those, not try to pick them up. Not athletic enough.
Unlucky break there for Tennessee, as once again, it was the opponent experiencing network issues. Let's not have a disconnect here. 1st and 10 at the 35. This is Derek Carr and company once again take the field. Again, we've seen a very pass-heavy approach from Dan so far. You wonder if that's strategy or if it's frustration, as Nick Chubb once again gets locked up by this Tennessee defensive line. Very good stuff here by the run D. 2nd and 9.
So far, Jesse's been able to completely neutralize Chubb.
As the league's resident 10-year-old says that Jesse's getting unlucky here early, that is OBJ on a corner route. Not the first time we've seen a corner route hit there for this Jacksonville offense. Gain of 18 and a first down.
Yeah, I think he's starting to take advantage of Jesse running that cover 2 all the time.
Yeah, and this is something that, it worked early for Jesse, but you're going to have to change it up because Dan will pick you apart if you get too predictable for your defense here. 1st and 10 is once again, oh my goodness, I thought that Jesse was going to jump that, but Derek Carr.
The low point.
Yeah, the low point really ended up kind of saving Dan there. That is a 2nd and 10 to the 16. Interesting read there from Dan, because it looked like Jesse was going to jump that all the way.
I wonder if you have a user with tip drill, will he go after those?
Potentially, I don't know. As we have a 2nd and 10 here, and this may be a touchdown for Nick Chubb as he ends up getting stopped at the 5. That is really the first time we've seen a run break big here, as the quick pitch goes for a gain of 11 and a first down.
Just would say, I believe that, 10, 11-yard run is the biggest run of the game from him.
Right. And perhaps, Dan getting frustrated with his interior blocking the defensive line, especially those 2 defensive tackles for Tennessee, doing a very good job here of locking down Nick Chubb. So, a couple outside runs, a toss to the outside, and that does break big here. 1st and goal at the 5, and it is absolutely critical that Jesse get a stop here if he wants to really stay in this game whatsoever here. Don't want to make it 14-3. 1st and goal at the 5 is once again Carr making a series of adjustments. This is window dressing for an inside zone as Chubb bounces off one tackle, gets all the way, we'll charitably say, to the 1-yard line. 2nd goal.
Gotta watch the outside here if you're Jesse. I know a lot of people love to bounce runs outside during goal line situations like this.
As once again, Derek Carr is getting his blocking set up for what will likely be a halfback dive here, 2nd and goal. And if I'm Tennessee, I start taking timeouts here because there's no reason. You want to have as much time as possible regardless of what happens. Is Dan willing to let all of the time run down as Nick Chubb hands off, and he does get through the hole, and that is a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, we did see...
And
go ahead.
If you're Jesse here, you have to score before the half ends. Words aren't
that important, honestly. It's fine.
I believe he gets the ball back at the start of the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, I on one hand, I do give Jesse credit for, he's generally done, honestly, a better job keeping this close than I assumed he would. initially as Highsmith tries to spend that outside, takes his deep 24-yard line. Like, on one hand, Jesse has kind of exceeded my expectations so far in terms of just his efficiency, but on the other hand, only 3 points to show for it, and he has, of course, thrown 2 interceptions. And yeah, I agree with you, Justin. It is imperative here that he puts some points on the board before halftime just for momentum's sake, as once again Maurice Little gets through for his second sack of the game. Second is 16 here at the 18.
Now Dan can start calling timeouts and try to get the ball back to score again.
And you have to double team Little. He almost gets through once again, and that is a slip screen. Goes for a loss of 4, and all of a sudden 3rd and 20 here. No turnovers here. Jacksonville, of course, very capable of scoring from anywhere on the field with what will end up being around 30 seconds left when they get the ball back, but don't do anything stupid here if you're Jesse. You'd live to see another day. 3rd and 20 at the 14 is once again you have to double team Maurice Little with his X Factor activated. 3rd and 20 as Rosen makes a series of adjustments once again, and he will drop back, and he steps up in the pocket, goes for a deep shot, and almost comes down with it, but unable to do so. 4th and 20 here in Tennessee before to punt the ball away.
Weirdly enough, I was watching the right tackle, and he actually handled Maurice Little by himself on that play.
Yeah, very surprising stuff there. Yeah, especially single covered against an X Factor. You'd love to see the heart there from the right tackles. Davidson tries to go against the grain there. Takes the 39.
He made one Titan just dive into the other and flip him.
Breaking multiple ankles there as Jacksonville will once again take the field. Obviously a pretty questionable first quarter from Jacksonville's perspective, as he did have the seam wide open, but Carr will take off once again, and Derek Carr takes the contact, and that is a gain of 10 and a first down. But you're right, Justin. He absolutely had the seams open there.
Yeah, the truck was wide open there. Dan usually never misses something straight down the middle, and he missed him right there.
One of the very rare times, as you said, you see Dan miss a deep shot, and this
looking
is
like me.
1st and 10 at the 49, looking like every Madden game I've ever played in my life. Is all of a sudden under 20 seconds here, no timeouts. Once again, you either want to get to the sidelines or get a touchdown here at this point, because I don't think he has time to run 2 plays here necessarily. 1st and 10 at the 49 as Derek Carr drops back, as almost gets sacked, ends up going to Chark, and that is thrown into double coverage there, and probably for the best there for Dan. That falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like Chark might have had a chance at catching that, but just tipped off his fingers.
As Chase says, I love contact. I agree. Contact makes me a little hot and bothered. Let me calm down here on stream. 2nd and 10 at the 49. I'm not trying to get banned as Derek Carr looks like he's setting up 2 vertical routes here as he drops back, and he has Chark wide open, and this will be an easy touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as after as the physically impossible there happens, as he spikes one ball and then carries the other. I don't know what that was, but after a beautiful first quarter by Jesse, it looks like things are starting to fall apart here. 21-3 Jacksonville as we approach halftime.
When he spiked the ball, it just completely got stuck in the ground.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was a very weird animation, but if you're Jesse, about as good of a first quarter as you could have hoped for, but all of a sudden, a couple big plays later, and you are down by 18 heading into halftime. What adjustments do you make? Of course, if you're Jesse, you got to calm down. The game's not over yet, but down 18 at halftime against Dan, you really got to figure something out pretty much immediately to stay in this game.
Yeah, he's gotta score. Can't play for possession anymore now that you're down by math 18
by 18
points.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's the American educational system fails us all at some point, is that it does go for gain 28, but unfortunately time runs out, and Jacksonville will get the ball to start this game. And I want to hear, we heard it from Justin, we heard it from the humble host, I want to hear from the rest of y'all. If you're Jesse, how do you approach this second half? As Chase says, you got to baseline that cover 3 for Jesse. Dan will eat it up if he reads your deep pre-snap. That is 100% true. That's how Dan gets a lot of those deep shots to DJ Chark and company.
Yeah, if you don't baseline, Dan will absolutely eat your D up.
1st and 25 as this is a power O out of gun, and this is going to break possibly for a touchdown, and Chubb gets a 75-yard touchdown as an interior run finally breaks big. And now if you're Jesse, say your prayers to whatever you believe in, because this is not a position you want to be in. 28-3 Jacksonville.
And it looks like the cycle of blowouts that we commentate is going to continue.
Yes, sir. I mean, got to be a little disappointed here for Jesse because, not to repeat myself too much, but that first quarter did go about as well as you could have hoped for, being up 3-0 heading the second quarter. But all of a sudden, a quarter and a play later, Jacksonville's put 28 points on the board, and it's looking real bad here for this Tennessee Titans team. 28-3 Jacksonville.
Alex says he should slang that bitch around or bring out Easton Stick.
At this point, I'm going to tend to agree with you. It's Josh Rosen, and that is an instant sack by Josh Allen as this Jaguars D-line is starting to break loose here as Allen just says some, I'm sure, horrible things there to Josh Rosen. The second and 21 here at the 7.
Called him the Dan word, I heard.
I mean, listen, we all knew it was coming at some point. Second and 21, Rosen drops back. Nearly gets sacked again, does end up sacking, and that is a fumble, and Norwell picks it up. Ends up going for a gain of 3, but that is a sack once again by Josh Allen.
They're really European there.
Is this the part where Tane asks, is this the part of the game where you just start taking questions? Probably. 3rd and 18 here at the 10 as Rosen is an empty formation. We have yet to see Alvin Kamara get the ball in this quarter, as that is a whoa, as he just misses, and that will be pass interference, and Tennessee gets bailed out there because by all accounts that should have been a safety.
Should have been a safety, yeah.
Got to get a little
safety, end up getting 30 yards.
Yeah, you got to get a little lucky sometimes here if you are in the Tennessee Titans position, as this is 1st and 10 at the 36. Rosen drops back once again. I would love to see you throw it or run it at some point as Coutois, who knows?
QT.
A cutie in my heart that goes for a gain of 14 and a first down. Again, 24. Math.
Former Packer.
But finally succeeding with another team here as Josh Rosen once again drops back. We've yet to see. Oh, is that going to be? As Highsmith somehow comes down with it once again. Probably should have been a user pick, but a series of bailouts here for this Titans offense, and all of a sudden Tennessee finds themselves in the red zone.
Jesse has looked like a certain NFC user at this for this drive.
It is what it is as Rosen once again drops back. Should go to the crossing route. Ends up going to it as Williams gets in the end zone. Touchdown Titans, and that is exactly what you need if you're trying to make the most momentous comeback perhaps in Better League playoff history here. 28-10, Jacksonville.
I think Dan might have got flustered by accidentally changing his camera angle. I'm not sure how you do that. He's just pressing those audibles at the speed of fucking light where he accidentally switches his camera angle. I've never seen that happen before.
Just a series of rough breaks there for Dan's Jacksonville Jaguars, and what by rights probably should have been a safety ends up turning into a touchdown for this Tennessee Titans offense. Now, all of a sudden, I won't say back in this game yet. It's going to take, a couple more big plays for that to be the case, but scoring a touchdown for the first time all game, we'll see how Dan responds here as he's up by 18 with over 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
At this point, you need to start limiting his points. I'm not sure if he's going to hold Dan to a field goal, but
limiting points a very good idea here as we do have a first down, and Derek Carr goes down once Oliver there with the sack, doing some jumping jacks on the field and then pounding his chest. 2nd and 17 at the 18.
Bringing the energy. I like it.
I can't quite get my voice as gravelly as CMAS, but, I try my best here. 2nd and 17 at the 18 is Carr once again making a litany of adjustments. You don't want to get too flustered here if you're Dan after that sack. As Carr drops back. Nice user work there. Oh, my goodness, as that falls incomplete. I hate that animation where it just flips your guy up.
I absolutely hate that, too.
Yeah, that is something I think.
That animation and possession catch where your guy, falls back, 2 yards. Right. You never get a first down.
That's something we've all gotten victimized by every once in a while here. Is all of a sudden 3rd and long here for this Jacksonville offense. And if you're wanting to make a miraculous comeback from Tennessee's perspective, this is exactly what you want here. Is Carr making a series of adjustments. I would audible here if I were Jesse as he goes to the corner route and somehow comes down with it over 3 Titans defenders. By the grace of God, OBJ comes down with a contested catch. That is a gain of 25 and a first down.
Kane says, do you guys remember when Ocho ruined season 7? Yes. Can we get a fuck Ocho in chat?
Facts. 1st and 10 here at the 41 as Derek Carr maybe got a little bailed out there by OBJ, but regardless, those are the catches you pay him for. 1st and 10 at the 41, and the blitz almost gets through. Awful pass by Derek Carr. he's been, on a couple of those crossing routes, he's been questionable here with his accuracy. That is 2nd and 10.
Whoever the left end is may have had the most athletic moment in his life as he bull rushed through two O-linemen and then jumped over the running back to almost get the sack there.
Once again, a very nice run defense there by the Tennessee defensive line. Those defensive tackles have shown up in a big way here for Tennessee, and we have another 3rd and long here, 3rd and 8 at the 44 as Dan drops back. The blitz almost gets through, and once again, it is a corner route to DJ Chark, and man, that is something Dan's going to keep going to those unless Jesse adjusts here. 1st and 10 at the 27.
Looking like a certain former Falcons user with a different type of route.
Exactly, as we do have a 1st and 10 here as Nick Chubb sheds one man off of him, and that is his 2nd biggest run of the day, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Alex says, I don't think Jesse has caught one break. Did he watch Jesse's last drive?
Yeah, I'm going to clip that entire last Titans drive for you, Alex, because that was just a series of blessings there. But regardless, still got to be feeling unlucky if you're Derek Carr as he rolls way out and goes to Nick Chubb. And that is a touchdown for Jacksonville. Once again, a launched hit stick when he shouldn't have done it, and Jacksonville gets another touchdown.
I'm not sure what Jesse has to do now to get back into this. It's 25 points with a quarter and a half to go. You have to score and score fast now.
I mean, I'll be honest, at this point, you just want to make it respectable here if you're Jesse. I mean, he had a very strong first quarter, raised some eyebrows, showed that he could potentially have the capability to shock the world, but at this point, as he said, down 25 with over 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's, I'm not going to say GG yet, but it's going to be a Herculean effort to get back into this game at this point as Rosen, after their only touchdown drive of the game here, takes the field once again. As you can see, only 19 rushing yards for Alvin Kamara and company. As Rosen once again drops back, he is still yet to run the ball all half, and that is a sack by Raithman. 2nd and 15.
Did little Alex just invite me to a party? No clue. Oh, you're probably telling me to invite him to this, but no, screw you.
Absolutely not. Alex, if you want to announce a game in the future, feel free, but until then, you can go fuck yourself, dude. 2nd and 15 at the 20 as Rosen once again drops back, and that is going to be as Highsmith almost comes down with it.
That should have been another pick.
Somehow, some way. And I mean, honestly, we can't really say that Jesse's gotten unlucky this game because I've counted like 3 or 4 picks that Dan should have had that have gone wanting here.
It was his little brother.
Okay, good stuff. 3rd and 15. Well, I apologize for cursing out a minor. 3rd and 15 here. 3rd and 15 here. Rosen once again rolls out. Remember, we have still yet to see a running play here from this Tennessee offense all half long, and that is a sack by Morrison, and Jesse will be forced to punt this ball away. As Jesse, perhaps out of being fed up, punts it directly to Davidson, and Davidson tries to cut against the grain, might have a hole here, ends up running out of bounds at the 44.
I think Jesse at this point is just going for injuries to help Chase out next week.
That's going to be a fun game, man. Dan versus
people.
Chase, that's going to be a barn burner here. As we have 1st and 10 at the 44 once again for this Jacksonville Jaguars offense, and Nick Chubb once again breaks loose, and as he breaks another tackle, Nick Chubb starting to feast here. Excuse me, that is the backup Collins there with a beautiful run. He goes for a gain of 32.
Coach Michael Collins' son.
And we may turn this into a podcast episode here. Feel free, whatever questions you have in the chat, feel free to ask them, but make sure it's in the Twitch chat because I do not have Slack up right now. 1st and 10.
Is there no Devontae Davidson for Dan today? I didn't see him when he was switching out as running back.
Davidson's been taking punt returns and kick returns, but yeah, okay. we have not seen him in the running game. Is the fact that Collins just got 2 straight.
Might be too focused on his soccer career.
Yeah, potentially. Better League FC continuing to just dominate fools as we have a 2nd and 10. This is another power O, and for the first time, Davidson. For the second time, Davidson. I'm high. 3rd and 2 at the 16.
And it's pretty much, if you score here and if Dan scores a touchdown here, it's pretty much over.
As Collins falls forward there for gain of 3 and a first down.
Ever.
If Jesse were to win the game at this point, I would almost be willing to just give him the league and just, like, kick the rest of the admins out like this is his league now. Suffice to say, I don't think it's happening.
Because we all know you have that power to do so.
100% is Davidson. Once again, gets loose, nearly gets a touchdown, ends up flowing forward all the way to the 1-yard line, and unless something shocking happens, we will most likely see Jacksonville go up 42-10.
I wish I was this good at the game where you could just call anything and know how to change it so it works.
Honestly, dude, first and goal, the 1. Nick Chubb gets an easy touchdown, and he will go up by 32 points. And honestly, at this point, if I'm Dan, I'd probably take starters out because this game is a wrap.
Yep. Jesse, we are very sorry for commentating this. Don't think we should not have, with our track record, we probably shouldn't have commentated this, but it happened.
It was a good first quarter, at least, give Jesse credit for that, but yeah, now it's getting truly rough here. 42-10, Jacksonville's Highsmith, out of desperation, is going to take this ball out of the back of the end zone, ends up getting to around the 22-yard line.
Despite the score, Jesse's defense looked very solid in the first half, and it just ultimately unraveled and later on in the second half, and now we're here.
Yeah, I think Jesse, especially after that first quarter where he was able to shut Dan out, I think he just started, running the same plays that were working initially. And, of course, if you are anyone going against Dan, you have to constantly change up the looks or else you will get dotted up. And this is what we've seen here. As you can see, 419 offensive yards here from the Jaguars. And once again, Josh Allen gets through for his 4th sack of the game, 2nd and 20.
Sheesh.
Yep. Got to max protect early and often here if you're, Chase or anyone else moving forward here. Put your 4s up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Well, do whatever you want. This game's over.
I'll still send a 4. Do you think more...
Appreciate it.
I have a first question from me. Do you think that people will start using D-line a little bit more since they revamped the whole control system?
I have absolutely no clue. I think it'll, I still think we'll see the top, half, 2/3, whatever, of the league still overwhelmingly use middle linebackers because I do still think the risk-reward is just, better for you there. But, yeah, if you're, Mike, for example, you may want to use the D-line a whole lot more as Rosen once again gets absolutely annihilated. That is Maurice Little with his 3rd sack of the game, 4th and 30. And we have still, I kind of get why, but Jesse still has yet to run the ball this entire second half. Alvin Kamara about to throw a fit in the locker room.
Yeah, might see under 12 runs on the game. Going to get suspended for the first game of 21.
Yes, sir. 1st and 10 here at the 49 as once again Jacksonville is up 42.
And I have no clue what that screaming was in the background of my headset.
Oh, I didn't even hear it, so you're chilling. 1st and 49 as this is Collins with a stretch, and he will go down for a gain of 4.
Yeah, I think it looks like he's been subbing Chubb out of all these plays, trying to keep him healthy.
Yeah. At this point, why not just go to the depth chart and just sub him out there instead of doing all that? I don't know. So, yeah, he's chew clock on, so this is all just window dressing at this point. 2nd and 6 as Collins takes the inside zone. Up the sideline, and this is a fumble for the Tennessee Titans as they strip Collins of the ball, and that is Landry with a fumble recovery there. Obviously, too little, too late for the Titans, but hey. You got a turnover against Dan. That's something.
Absolutely launching hit stick, looking like a couple of commentators I know.
Again, no comment. 1st and 10 here at the 28. Rosen once again drops back. It has been a very busy second half for Rosen as Kamara jukes one man, gets a gain of 15 and a 1st down.
Kamara finally touches the ball.
As viewership is starting to dwindle here, I get it. But, for those of you who are sticking around, again, if you have any questions, any mailbag questions you want answered, feel free. This is going to be a nice, chill 4th quarter for us.
Titans are being held to 148 yards so far in the second half.
As he takes a deep shot, and that is an interception by Sweeney. It looks like he might have had a step there initially, but unable to come in with it.
The animation caught him up to that. I didn't like that.
That's just Madden for you. That's just something that's bound to happen at some point. 1st and 10 here as Collins once again takes a stretch after fumbling the last play, Gain 2.
Making Dad proud. standing on the sidelines, Michael Collins.
Jacksonville up to 444 total yards. This has been an explosive offensive performance from Dan after what was, a very tame first quarter by his standards. That goes for a gain of 5, and we have 3rd and 3.
What do you think Chase will do to stop Dan?
I mean, he did a pretty good job. I mean, I'm thinking of the regular season game that I commentated with. I want to say CMAS. Very nice user work there by Jesse, one of the few times all game. I think that Chase will do at least a much better job than we've seen Jesse do so far of disguising his coverages. Chase does have a lethal user linebacker, so I think because of that, we'll see Dan take more shots at the outside, more corner routes, more, long developing drag routes, etc. So that's just something that Chase is going to have to do. One thing, not to talk too much, I apologize, but one interesting thing I saw Chase do against Dan that had some modicum of success is he would user the outside linebackers a lot and just try to essentially guard the corners. And that did kind of force Dan into some uncomfortable situations. Dan did not have the most explosive offensive game that day, and I think that's going to be something we see from Chase again, potentially. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he has to pair that up with just trying to get ahead early. Like, what we saw from the first quarter of this game was Jesse was up 3-0, and Dan started to get a little bit desperate and wouldn't run the ball. He'd keep everything in the air. And that was starting to hurt him, and then, the end just pulled it down and scored 42 points in 3 quarters. But before that, I think Dan doesn't play as well as he does normally when he's down by a bit.
I guess, sure, yeah.
So it just forces him to pass a lot more than he would normally pass, which already is a lot, but...
I mean, you have to make Dan one-dimensional if you're any user. As Rosen drops back as the drag route as Kamara gets his 3rd straight touch after, I'm sure, screaming for it after the 3rd quarter break. 4th and 2, and we will see Tennessee go for it.
Not sure that's exactly what he meant by give me the damn ball, but...
At some point, you just got to let the big dogs eat here if you're Tennessee. Obviously, too little too late as Rosen goes up the seams, and that is an incomplete pass, and Jacksonville will get the ball right back at the 43.
So what's your prediction between Steele and Ben? Who do you think's winning it?
I think Ben's going to win, and I don't think it's going to be close.
And if you're in my spot, what do you want to do?
Who would I want to play? Well, I mean, Ben... after finding some true efficiency in his Super Bowl run, I think it's fair to say that Ben, has gotten a little more volatile, I'll say, with his passing game. So just, weathered the storm, just don't allow any don't allow a lot of chunk plays, make Ben build a lot of long, sustained drives. And then if he can do that against you and win, then more power to him. But he will make mistakes at some point. So just prioritize stopping the deep ball and, try to make Ben get uncomfortable here. 2nd and 8 as Collins gets locked up for a loss of 3.
I think it's going to be a lot closer because I don't think Ben will have, the knowledge and the, full-on team work with using a team that he didn't build. So, it's going to have that Buccaneers team has a lot less X factors. I don't know about a lot, but less X factors than superstars, and Ben usually relies on the superstar and X factors on his defense to carry him on D, plus above average user.
I mean, what he does have is Kellen Balaj, and I'll be interested to see, Ben, goddamn, Ben, not the most run-heavy user by any stretch, but I'll be interested to see how heavily he relies on Balaj.
It's alright, Chris, we all make mistakes sometimes.
As I'm commentating this game with Austin, 1st and 10 here at the 21 as we have hit the 2-minute warning, and we will see 3 kneel downs. So this is game. From Dan's perspective, what do you do heading into this game against Chase?
I think you want to win.
Beautiful stuff as always, and honestly, we know what's going to happen here, so I'm just going to cut the stream off right now. Thank you to all of you who are watching. CMAS, Chase, Alex, Taint, Ocho, all of you who were active in the chat. Yes?
Nothing.
Okay.
Trying to fuck with you.
was going to say, I don't know what happened there. But regardless, congratulations to Dan on what ended up being a pretty easy 42-10 win, along with Justin, a.k.a. Booger McFarland. I am Connor Rice. Expect to hear my voice again at some point. Peace.
Say the Dan word now.